This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. August the 31st, last day of the month.
Oh, it is. It is. It crept up on us.
It did. September starts tomorrow. John Scalzi starts right now, though. Good morning, John.
Good morning to you guys. Hope everything is well with you over at the anchor desk.
So far, so good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Nice sunny sky yesterday. Chance to kind of dry out. I think we'll do basically the same thing again today, though there may be a few showers around. Atmosphere slightly more moist aloft, just slightly. So we'll still see plenty of sunshine around, and the radar, I think, will end up looking like this later in the day as well. A lot of blue sky and a lot of fair weather. Now, Harvey has opened up. It's a depression now. It'll probably end up just being a big area of low pressure by the end of the day. That's a good thing. That means it's decreasing in intensity. 92 degrees, our daytime high, with about a 30% chance of showers, 20% chance today. Something like that. A little bit higher chance inland, a little bit lower chance near the coast. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic now busy northbound on 301 as you head towards State Road 70. Must be a long light there right now or something. Farther south into Sarasota County, a blip on the bayfront there by the Sailor and Nurse statue. And also east of the interstate on Clark Road as you approach the interstate area. All quiet South County at 5:02 on your Thursday morning.
Topping our news this morning, dozens of people in Manatee County are left trying to rebuild after last weekend's flooding ruined their homes.
One neighborhood just finished rebuilding when the storm hit. And as our Jess Dodrick shows us, some homeowners don't have flood insurance.
It's just a horrible feeling because it just happened a year ago, almost a year ago to the day.
It's a familiar scene for Shady Brook residents. Tables, chairs, and other household items lining front lawns as crews gut the inside of their homes. The neighborhood has experienced devastating flooding 4 times in the last 20 years. The most recent before this weekend, August 31st, 2016.
I know exactly what causes it. It's the creek that's right behind my house.
When Bowley's Creek overflows, it dumps right out into Shady Brook.
It's like a full-flowing river that flows through there ripping, and I mean, it was, you know, all the way waist deep coming through here.
The board of directors, the owners, and even residents have reached out to Manatee County government, hoping for a fix. Residents say they've been promised one, but the county has never followed through. Now, for the second time in 1 year, the condo association and residents both paying thousands of dollars in repairs.
The flood insurance is just too expensive, especially when they ask you, has it flooded in the past? And you say, yeah, it flooded less than a year ago.
Flood insurance could cost as much as $5,000 a year or more for homes sitting in flood zones, but as inexpensive as $500 a year for homes that aren't in those flood zones.
So many people out there don't even bother buying those flood programs because they think that they're not in a flood plain since their mortgage doesn't require it. But those people should really think twice about it because the state of Florida, the whole state could go under depending on the type of storm.
After weekend storms, Millennium Insurance in Sarasota is now seeing 3 times the calls that they typically do. Customers wanting and needing flood insurance.
It is harder to get flood insurance if you've had claims in the past. The underwriting is a lot more stringent. They do it on a case-by-case basis.
This hurricane season, it hasn't even started. So, I mean, hopefully they don't finish and then we have another real bad storm, because if we do, it could flood again.
Jess Dodrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Hurricane season has started, by the way. Flood insurance takes 30 days to kick in, so you can't call it the day and be protected tomorrow.
In Punta Gorda, the police chief has been fired after a woman was killed last year during a Citizens Academy training exercise. City Manager Howard Kunick says the firing of Chief Tom Lewis is the result of an internal affairs investigation into the death of Mary Knowlton. Kunick says evidence shows the department did not consistently follow standard safety protocols when conducting citizen police training programs.
What I found was a non-standardized approach that created unnecessary risk for everyone involved.
Officer Lee Coel, who actually fired that shot that killed Mary Knowlton, was fired from the department earlier this year. He's actually expected to be in court on criminal charges resulting from that shooting today.
Nurses and other medical workers held a protest in Venice to raise awareness about they say the need for adequate nursing staff in hospitals. The National Nurses Organization says Venice Hospital's new CEO has a track record of not having enough nurses on staff. The committee says the hospital objected to that claim, and 3 nurses at a hospital in Ocala were fired for taking on an overload of patients. Venice Regional sent out a statement saying those 3 nurses at Monroe Regional, quote, failed to report to work without notice. The statement goes on to say that anyone who fails to report without notice poses a challenge to staffing.
We want to make the community aware of this and also make sure that the Board of Trustees of the hospital here is aware of this.
What's happening nationally with
the hospital says nursing plans are based on the number of patients and their specific needs. They also say any staff member who has a concern should speak up. A sinkhole opened up in Manatee County. Crews are trying to fill the hole on Tuttle Avenue between University Parkway and Tallavass Road. It opened up beneath the southbound lane on Tuttle, about 6 feet wide. Traffic is now being diverted around the hole. Crews say a pipe burst from all the rainwater in that area.
The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office needs your help identifying the man shown in this video who is suspected of stealing 4 iPads from the Walmart located at Murdoch Circle in Port Charlotte. The suspect claimed he was a law enforcement officer and even displayed a Charlotte County Sheriff's Office business card. He drove off in a silver Chevy Tahoe. If you have any information, please contact the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office.
The city of Sarasota plans to reset the Newtown Redevelopment Agency in hopes of helping that community. It's an organization that's been struggling for years. The goal is to bring the tax base up to current levels within the district to help improve Newtown's economy. It's a realistic goal, says Sarasota City Manager.
We've had some new investments. We've got the Ringling Soundstage that is opening up their second venue there very soon. We're working on with a group of developers to open the Marian Anderson Commerce Park.
The city also says they're continuing to seek collaborations and partnerships in an effort to give this reset the best possible success. Happening today, another chance to review state plans to upgrade the Cortez Bridge onto Anna Maria Island. Options include fix the current bridge, build a drawbridge, a bigger drawbridge that is, or build a signature span like the Ringling Causeway. One issue there, though, is a lack of space on either side of the span. Options will be displayed again today at a public meeting at 5 p.m. at Kirkwood Presbyterian Church. The state's been talking about replacing this bridge now for the past 25 years.
Well, it'll still be another week and a half or so before we know how the heavy rains and flooding affected sea turtle nests here on the Suncoast. Officials at Mote Marine Lab in Sarasota say during the last severe storm, around 3% of nests were damaged. They are now out checking the nest every single day to see how many were washed out in the recent rain event. As of last Saturday, more than 4,000 loggerhead sea turtle nests and 80 green sea turtle nests were counted on beaches from Longboat Key all the way to Venice. Turtle nesting season ends on October 31st. And despite the recent rain, this turtle is not letting the floods get to him. An adult loggerhead sea turtle is enjoying freedom once again. Staff members at Mote Marine Lab released Patty at Lido Beach yesterday. There he is. Patty had been recovering at Mote's Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital after swallowing a fishing hook back in May. He was also covered in barnacles and algae and was very anemic. But after surgery and 2 months of good care, he was given the okay to be released back into the Gulf.
Our best advice is if you can use circle hooks. Also, hooks that are corrodable, so even if an animal ingests it, they can, eventually that will dissolve.
Mote says if you see a marine animal hooked on a line, do not cut it. Instead, call Mote's 24-hour Stranding Investigations Response Program or the Florida Fish and Wildlife Alert Hotline at 1-888-404-FWCC. Since opening, Mote's Rehab Center has treated more than 600 turtles.
A local state senator is pushing a plan to cover the college bills for the state's top-performing high school students. Bradenton's Bill Galvano wants to require the state to pay up to 100% of all tuition costs for some 94,000 students in Florida. It's called the Bright Futures Scholarship. The legislature passed a similar bill last year, but it was vetoed later by Governor Rick Scott.
Well, days after Hurricane Harvey's initial landfall, we continue to see shocking and devastating scenes out of Texas and Louisiana. If you're wondering what you can do to help, don't worry. Today, ABC is hosting a day of giving to benefit those impacted by Harvey, and we hope you'll join us. Throughout the day, there will be a call to action to donate to the American Red Cross, with the money raised going to benefit those most impacted. If you'd like to help, you can make a donation at redcross.org or by calling 1-855-999-GIVE. You can also check out our website and Facebook page. We'll have all that information shared right there for you. Super easy. All the information you need to donate.
And a guest in studio next hour who will talk more about this. I had a salesperson stop me in the hallway and say, how can I do more? And I said, watch our show tomorrow morning. You'll see.
Exactly. So looking forward to speaking with her.
Yes. So
a lot of need out there. We have another tropical system out in the Atlantic that bears watching as well. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest in your first alert traffic. And our Linda Carson shows us a place on the Suncoast where everyone comes to celebrate that you won't want to miss.
And later in the hour, Harvey is now a tropical depression as the death toll rises in Houston.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Attention blood thinner users. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The widely prescribed blood thinners Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to a number of dangerous side effects, including internal bleeding, gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney bleeding, stroke, brain hemorrhaging, and even death. If you or a loved one suffered any of these injuries after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's going to be a nice day today. 78 degrees the air temperature. Dew point still the same at 78. Still evaporating all of that moisture around. And low-level surface moisture is high so that the dew points are high and the humidity in the afternoon is sticky. That's going to be the case today for sure. But still, I think it'll be a lot of sunshine out there, and we'll probably have a very nice sea breeze building in the afternoon, and probably just a few showers around in inland areas mostly. 77 Wauchula, 78 Arcadia, 78 Myakka, Northport at 79, 80 Inglewood. Venice coming in at 79, 80 degrees at Longboat Key, and Bradenton comes in at 78. So across the region currently, we have a couple of areas of disturbed weather. We have, of course, Harvey still producing a lot of rainfall in parts of the deep south, twirling around Louisiana area, but, you know, it's not well defined anymore. It's a depression, and it'll soon become an extratropical system, probably by the end of the day, as it continues to drift off toward the northeast at a very slow rate, still dropping lots of rain over Louisiana. Now, we also have a little feature that extends outward from that system. It's kind of a trough of low pressure that's producing rain showers and a few thunderstorms out in the central Gulf waters. Not really a player in our forecast yet, but maybe by the end of the work week and beginning of the weekend, it might be. We'll talk about that in a second. Otherwise, state of Florida looks pretty quiet right now. Not much going on here locally. Everything is pretty tranquil, and probably will be throughout most of the day. Now, maybe late in the afternoon, you might see 1 or 2 showers begin to build, and those showers could drift back to the coastline as they fall apart, but those will be few and far between. Just not going to see a whole lot of that. So if you look at what's going on the water vapor imagery, this is a satellite picture of the amount of moisture at mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Really good to show you also where the swirls and motions are in the atmosphere. You'll see this tan color all over the state of Florida. Well, that's dry air. There's also some turquoise values here. The turquoise color is a little bit higher moisture content air, and the atmosphere aloft is starting to moisten a little bit, just a little bit. So that'll up our rain chances a tad today, but still kind of a dry condition. The low pressure area moves off to the north and the east, becomes extra tropical, and this trough of low pressure advances in our direction, bringing us better weekend rain chances. We're watching the tropics carefully. In the southern Gulf, there's about a 20% chance of development in that cloud cluster, but about 3,000 miles away from us, we have a newly formed tropical system, Irma. Irma is on a forecast track that carries it westward for several days, and in fact, by the end of the Labor Day weekend, it should be pretty close to the islands. Now, some computer models take this system and really do develop it into a strong tropical system. In fact, take a look at this one computer model. This is a European model, and with time, you'll notice how strong this system becomes. In fact, it becomes a major hurricane, and it heads toward Gulf waters. So now, obviously, that's a long way out, and that model will change with time, but we're going to keep an eye on it for you, and I advise you to stay abreast of where that storm is by next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at your traffic this morning in Manatee County, slowdowns on State Road 70 and 301, downtown Bradenton looking clear, I-75 looking good as we head into Sarasota County. Some slowdowns already this morning on Bee Ridge and Clark Road. South County pretty quiet though at 518 on your Thursday morning. Well, as summer winds down and the season quite isn't here yet, things can really get quiet here on the Suncoast.
But not in Inglewood, not this weekend. Our Linda Carson has a preview.
The Pioneer Days Festival in Inglewood has been a tradition for more than half a century.
Back in 1956, Jo Cortez was the editor of the Sun Herald, and she started something that has been carried on all of these years to help the local businesses do a little bit more in the summertime, kind of take away the dog days and let everybody know that we're here, and we encourage you to come and visit our great area of Inglewood.
The fun begins with cardboard boat races Saturday morning. Saturday night, there's a Shipwreck Dance in Pioneer Park.
We start with the drum circle at 5. We have food trucks, we have the beer garden, but at 6 o'clock we have Sheena Brooke, who was one of the top 20 finalists on The Voice this year. We're very excited. And then Summer Survivors from Sarasota will be playing at 8 o'clock.
There are 2 car shows.
One is on Sunday, which is an open car show. I have people registered anywhere from a 1927 to a 2018.
You'll see cars like this 1931 Alfa Romeo race car.
How fast will it go?
88.
88 miles an hour?
88 miles an hour,
Do you ever get it up to that speed?
Oh, once in a while I take it over on 75 and run with the big boys.
On Sunday, festivities run from noon till 9 p.m.
We have a great kids area that is free. We encourage the parents to bring their children.
The parade steps off Monday morning at 9.
The parade has been rerouted, so we want to let everybody know that we're actually starting at the shopping center on State Route 776 this year, and we will be going south to north. So we'll be heading west on Dearborn this year instead of east.
Immediately following the parade, there's a Corvette show.
Well, the Corvette is a very special car because it's America's sports car. Chevrolet began manufacturing it in 1953, and it's been continuously in production ever since.
Those cars will also be parked in the 300 block of West Dearborn, right across the street from the Pioneer Days Festival, which also will feature games, children's corner, music, food, beverage, all the fun that you can imagine.
So come on out to Pioneer Days in Inglewood. It's the biggest thing happening this Labor Day weekend in the entire state of Florida, and there's something every day for every member of your family. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
This is their big weekend in Inglewood.
Yeah, sounds like a fun time.
Still heading Good Morning Suncoast. Amazon's Alexa and Microsoft's Cortana voice assistants are going to be able to communicate with each other thanks to a collaboration between their parent companies.
And coming up at 5:30, we take a look back on the late Princess Diana on the 20th anniversary of her passing. Those stories and more when we come back.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
Call 1-800-671-4817.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
Game on, Suncoast. Get scores and highlights from the area's top high school matchups on Football Friday night, just after the news at 11:15. Sponsored by your local Honda dealers.
I'd like to thank the fine folks from Leadership Manatee for blitzing our studio yesterday. John Scalzi was the host. He brought them in, and we had a chance to meet many of them, asked all kinds of questions.
That is a big group of them.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them there.
I'm not going to tell you who's who then. All right. There's the way you can post pictures to us, our respective websites. We also have our own pictures, information you can talk to us about, so feel free to check out our social media pages here on Good Morning Suncoast.
Yeah, we'd love to interact with you guys. It's 5:23 this morning, and it's almost time for Starbucks to release their ever-popular pumpkin spice latte. And one web developer is hoping to help you track when and where your drink is available.
All right, Diane Macedo and Candace Gibson have that and more in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Alexa and Cortana are teaming up.
Yeah, the two voice assistants will soon be able to work together. That means Amazon Echo owners will be able to use Microsoft Cortana features and vice versa.
It's seen as a major shift in the competitive voice assistant market. And the BlackBerry will not go away quietly. Manufacturer TCL is releasing a phone, but get this, it will not have a keyboard.
Okay, so the new device will have a touch screen. It's set to be released in October and expected to cost about the same as the key one. And finally, Starbucks Pumpkin Spice Latte has lots of fans. Now there's a website tracking the fall's favorite return.
The site is called isitpumpkinspiceseason.com. The website has the drink status listed as not yet, but that could change on Friday. That is when the drink is rumored to return.
Amazing that they were able to find that URL. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites. Brought to you by AARP.
I'm like a sponge for this stuff. I can learn it, get it, sell it. I can do this job in my sleep better than some people can do awake. I just want to make sure this brain stays in hyperdrive.
Hey, we hear you. That's why AARP created Staying Sharp. It's more than brain games. It's a personalized 360 approach to brain health with assessments and tools that can help you keep your brain sharp. You don't think this is right for me when you think AARP? Then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in food that's naturally beautiful, fresh, and nutritious. So there are no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives in any of the food we sell. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
When you have something you love, you want to protect it. At LegalZoom, our network of attorneys can help you every step of the way with an estate plan including wills or a living trust that grows along with you and your family. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information when severe weather threatens the Suncoast. Visit mysuncoast.com and download yours today.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, Harvey moves into Louisiana while Texas is left in the wake of a devastating storm. We'll have the latest numbers from Houston.
Plus, new details on the death of a Penn State fraternity pledge. Why defense attorneys say a college employee may have helped cover up the death of Tim Piazza.
And the top man at the Florida Highway Patrol has been suspended. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, 5:30 on this Thursday morning, final day of August 31st. 1st.
I know, September's already here. Soon we'll be seeing lots of pumpkin spice lattes and fall wreaths. I'm looking forward to it. I love fall. It'll be different here. It'll be my first fall here on the Suncoast.
Yes.
So probably won't feel quite like what I'm used to.
No, it'll feel more like summer.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm here. Let's go over to our friend John Scalzi in the corner. Good morning, John.
Good morning. We have fall between October 1st and October 10th.
Okay.
That's our fall. Yeah, it comes quick. We have across the region, pretty quiet conditions. It's nice, actually. A little bit on the humid side, but still not much in the way of any kind of weather to talk about this morning, so your commute should be just fine. No worries at all. Harvey opening up into a tropical depression, now continuing to lift off to the north, but still producing a lot of rain across Louisiana. For us, we're watching that trail of clouds out into the central Gulf for the possibility of some rain over the weekend. But for today, only slightly better rain chances than yesterday when we were dry. So look for 92 as a daytime high and slight chances of showers. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Little slowdowns there in both directions on State Road 70. Otherwise, all clear. Farther south, see a little problem there on the Bayfront as you head toward the Ringling Causeway or toward the North Trail. Farther south now, we'll see one problem northbound 41 around the Business 41 interchange.
Topping our news this morning, thousands of people remain stranded and an estimated 30,000 to 40,000 homes have been destroyed in the Houston area as Hurricane Harvey now becomes a tropical depression.
Harvey is now an issue in Louisiana. ABC's Maggie Ruley has the latest.
In some parts of Houston, water rescues and recovery missions are still going around the clock, 5 days after Hurricane Harvey made landfall.
We've already made one dramatic rescue, and now we're right back at it.
Now a tropical depression, Harvey continues to batter the Gulf Coast.
That river, inside, outside, upside, downside.
Port Arthur desperate to escape the rain.
I'm scared for my baby.
Even though the rain has stopped in Houston, the floodwaters continue to rise. Roughly 15,000 calls for help have poured in. Officials now going door to door, marking bright orange seas on homes that are clear. Officials estimating up to 40,000 homes are destroyed in Harris County alone.
But 100,000 is certainly not out of the question.
Those returning home to see the damage sift through their now waterlogged possessions.
This is in my blood. This is where I'm from. I'm not going. I'm not leaving.
And homeowners who lost everything, it's estimated more than 80% of them don't have flood insurance.
I'm okay. I'm just ready to go home. And I don't have a home because they're flooded out.
Relief efforts are now underway. The U.S. Navy sending 2 ships to the Gulf of Mexico. And today, Vice President Mike Pence will be in Texas to see some of these relief efforts firsthand. Last night, more than 30,000 people slept in shelters like this one. And all night long, there have been volunteers manning those desks, ready to welcome guests 24/7. Maggie Ruley, ABC News, Houston, Texas.
And as you just heard, happening today, Vice President Mike Pence will visit some of the worst damage in Texas. He'll be joined by the Secretaries of Labor, Transportation, and other agencies. Pence has praised rescue efforts in Hurricane Harvey's aftermath. He echoed President Trump's remarks in a speech Wednesday, calling first responders the best of America.
And following Harvey, a chemical plant in Crosby, Texas may soon explode. Officials with the Arkema plant say the facility is flooded because of Tropical Storm Harvey. They went on to say the plant hasn't had electricity for days due to those floods, and the refrigeration on some of their backup storage containers there have also been compromised. Officials warn at least one of the chemicals has to be kept at a certain temperature or it can combust. Because of the lack of power, officials fear the facility will either catch on fire or explode. Workers and residents who live within about 2 miles of that plant have been evacuated. And take a look at this video coming to us from the catastrophic flooding out of Texas, where you can see a miraculous rescue by the U.S. Coast Guard. As you can see, a mother and baby being pulled up into the helicopter from those flood waters. This video was taken Tuesday in the Houston area. So far, more than 13,000 people have been rescued from the devastation left behind by Hurricane Harvey. And it's not just humans who are banding together to help each other survive. Insects are doing so as well. Take a look at this seemingly innocent pile of dirt floating along some of the floodwaters in Texas, only it's not dirt. It's actually thousands of fire ants clinging onto each other. Now, you definitely don't want to touch that pile, but it is impressive how nature works.
Looks like a hash brown potato. Tonight's preseason game between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys has been canceled. The game was to be played in Houston, but even talk of moving the game to Dallas have now been scrapped. Many of the Houston players wanted to stay home with their families. Meantime, Houston All-Star J.J. Owens continues to raise big money for a fund drive.
I think it's the right decision. I think it's everybody here is obviously most concerned about their families, their friends, the city of Houston back home. So I think it's extremely important that we get home as quickly as we possibly can. I know we're all very excited to get back there and see our people, but then also to start helping.
J.J. Watts, he had hoped to raise $200,000. That fund has instead now reached $8 million.
Wow. Well, today marks the 20th anniversary since Princess Diana died in a devastating car crash. Her life touched the hearts of millions across the world, and her death triggered an unprecedented wave of mourning. Many people in the UK and across the world are using this week to remember her legacy, including Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo, who laid a wreath at the city's Alma Bridge, where Diana lost her life 20 years ago. Princess Diana remains a beloved figure in Europe as candlelight vigils are being held in her honor. Diana lived a life under the spotlight, but she used her influence to shed light on the humanitarian causes that she championed.
A Penn State employee is under scrutiny now in connection with a fraternity pledge's death earlier this year. Live-in frat advisor Tim Bream appeared in court yesterday. Defense attorneys say Bream may have had knowledge of the Beta Theta Pi house party in February, where a 19-year-old pledge Tim Piazza became intoxicated and later died. They say Bream may also have told frat brothers to delete text messages to try to cover up the accident. Now, Bream testified he did not approve any alcohol obstacle course, and he was not even in the house after 11 p.m. the night of the party. Bream is not charged with anything. However, 18 frat brothers are facing charges including involuntary manslaughter and tampering with evidence.
Attorneys for a Palm Beach County millionaire convicted of DUI manslaughter are trying to change state laws regarding blood alcohol tests. The attorneys went before the Florida Supreme Court to challenge state rules for testing blood alcohol levels in drunken driving cases. Their client, John Goodman, was convicted and sentenced to 16 years in prison for DUI manslaughter back in 2010. The attorneys argued whether law enforcement has adequate rules to ensure that blood alcohol tests conducted in DUI cases provide accurate results.
The FDLE's blood collection and blood alcohol rules are both inadequate and inconsistent with the core policies of the implied consent law.
Goodman sought to exclude blood alcohol test results because of alleged problems with the testing rules. His attorneys say they hope to get the case thrown out and receive a new trial.
More discipline, this time at the top, in the wake of an FHP controversy about meeting traffic ticket quotas. Chief Mark Brown will be suspended for 3 days. Two other high-ranking officials resigned this month after an internal email suggested that troopers weren't writing enough tickets. The department will now do annual training to remind troopers they don't have to write a certain number of traffic tickets.
5:38 this morning, and a Florida man is receiving a hefty bill for reportedly contributing to a wildfire. The Florida Forest Service sent Brian Sparks of Bryceville a $60,000 bill to pay for the personnel and machinery used to put out a 705-acre wildfire that officials say he caused while burning old paperbacks and clutter. He also received a misdemeanor citation for failure to obtain a department permit and reckless land burning. The fire forced evacuations and damaged at least 8 homes. Fire crews from Nassau and neighboring counties worked with forestry workers for several days to put out that fire. Well, Governor Scott has taken 2 more capital murder cases from a prosecutor who has stopped seeking the death penalty. Scott signed executive orders earlier today reassigning cases from Orlando State Attorney Aramis Ayala to a prosecutor in a neighboring district. State Attorney Brad King will now handle new sentencing for Jermaine Foster, who was sentenced to death for a 1994 murder conviction. He will also prosecute Robert Cardin, who was charged with killing his mother and brother in May.
In the wake of Hurricane Harvey, Florida has sent nearly 300 volunteers to Texas and Louisiana. Florida is a state familiar with the wrath of hurricanes, and Governor Scott says he wants to do all he can to help other states now at times like these. The volunteers include those working for the American Red Cross and Salvation Army. The governor says they've been also busy right now already. Okay, so Volunteer Florida is also coordinating the activities of 10 disaster relief organizations. For a list of the agencies, go to mysuncoast.com and click on links we mentioned. One area of Florida especially familiar with the devastation of hurricanes is the Miami area. Hurricane Andrew, of course, happened 25 years ago this week. Efforts are underway there among residents to help Texas.
I think if it was us on the other side of that, we could easily be the ones on the evening news with people looking at us from a helicopter. So in that event, we all have to help each other, and we're all in this together.
The volunteers say they are bringing a boat to Houston, and they do not want it back necessarily. They want someone to use it there to continue with rescue missions. Very nice. I love that guy's name involved in the forest fire. He was charged for the forest fire. Last name?
Sparks.
Sparks.
It's funny.
Can't make that up.
Can't make it up.
5:40 on your Thursday morning. Nice day on the menu?
Yeah, looks pretty good. We'll have a few extra showers around compared to what we saw yesterday, but the thing is that we have a new tropical system out in the Atlantic. It really does bear watching. We'll talk about that.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, your first alert traffic, and we'll take a look at how meal prep and planning your workouts will ensure a healthy weight loss.
Here's a hint why consistency is better than a quick solution. Up next in Health Smart.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. The Jacuzzi walk-in tub allows you or a loved one to take a safe and relaxing bath. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. Regain bathing independence with a Jacuzzi walk-in tub and enjoy spending more time with loved ones. Why wait any longer? During our Safe Bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, we'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. Call right now to save double on a new walk-in tub. Call now.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599. 800-570-7599.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. With meteorologist John Scalzi.
So dew point values today are going to be high because we're still evaporating moisture from the ground, and consequently near the surface we still have a lot of moisture to deal with, and in the afternoon that brings us a very sticky feel to the air. However, later in the day, I think we may actually wring out a few showers because that dry air aloft is starting to moisten a little bit. Right now, 78-degree dew point value and a 78-degree temperature, 100% relative humidity, just about where we were yesterday. But it's aloft where the changes are starting to occur. 78 in Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton, Sarasota, 79 degrees in Northport and Punta Gorda. Then along the coast, a little bit warmer with 80 degrees Longboat Key, 80 in Venice, and 81 in Inglewood. Harvey is opening up now and being absorbed by upper-level troughiness, and so this system, as it lifts off to the north and to the east, will start to decrease in intensity. Still, it has the potential to bring inches of rainfall to parts of, well, anywhere from Memphis all the way up into the Ohio Valley over the course of the next couple of days. And we'll watch it accelerating forward speed, which will be a good thing. That will reduce turbulence.
This is a required monthly test of the emergency alert system. Had this been an actual emergency or dangerous situation, official messages and directions would have followed the alert tones. This test is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and your local broadcast station or cable provider. This concludes the required monthly test.
Looking at radar, everything's pretty quiet. Not much going on here this morning. Don't really anticipate much this afternoon. So here's the very dry air that was over us yesterday. It's starting to kind of lift away, and we're getting these turquoise colors of a little bit higher moisture content air, kind of mixing in with all of the very dry air we had around yesterday. Still dry, still below average rain chances, but a little bit better than we saw 24 hours ago. So we'll have a few showers around. Very dry air now moving through Texas. It'll be sunshiny there as they start to dry out, hopefully. The kind of division between the very dry air indicated by tan and this little bit more moist air is that trough of low pressure that I pointed out on radar. Now, that will be rotating around the circulation and kind of picked up by this system as it becomes extratropical. It'll inch towards Florida, and that will kind of just linger across north central Florida over the course of Saturday and Sunday, aiding in producing rain showers. I think we might get multiple rain showers over the same place in parts of North Florida, perhaps, kind of similar to what we saw here last weekend, but more to the north of us, I think. We'll keep an eye on that, see how that develops. That'll be on Saturday. Otherwise, I think the big story will be the tropics. That's what we're going to be watching over the course of the next week. Now, this is not of immediate concern. We're watching also in an area of clouds down in the southern Gulf. The Hurricane Center gives that a 20% chance of developing. And if it does, it'll be very, very slow to occur, and we'll probably just meander down here for a while. So that one is not a big concern. Further away, 3,000 miles away almost, we're watching Irma. Irma, that's that new tropical system we continue to watch with 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's forecast on a forecast track that takes it west for a time and strengthens up to a Category 2. And about 5 days out, it maybe starts to inch a little bit further to the south. Now, once you get to this 5-day forecast, a lot of big questions about what happens to that forecast track. One computer model, the European, takes it toward the west, intensifies it, sends it a little bit further south toward the Leeward and Windward Islands, and then eventually sends it on a course that may take it into Gulf waters as a pretty intense hurricane. So we'll have to watch for that and see how that plays out. But the take home from all of this is that near the United States, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, we have some very warm water temperatures supporting perhaps a major hurricane developing in those waters by midweek next week. So watch for that. Otherwise, about a 60% chance of showers on Saturday, dry today, pretty dry tomorrow. And then as we head into next work week, kind of typical summertime weather. And we'll keep an eye on the tropics Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic this Thursday morning, looks like there are some slowdowns on State Road 70 heading east and westbound, also 301 in both directions, seeing some more cars on the roadway. And in South Sarasota County, looks like your biggest slowdowns are on 41 heading southbound. As we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. No real concern if you're heading throughout that direction on your morning commute at 549 on your Thursday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, when it comes to losing weight, sometimes losing the pounds isn't about how fast you're able to do it, but instead about maintaining a steadier and more consistent workout and eating schedule. Mary Maloney has more details.
To achieve your weight loss goals, be consistent. Slowly shedding pounds can be better long-term than a drastic drop in weight early on. That's according to a new study published in the journal Obesity. Researchers put 183 overweight or obese people on a weight loss program for a year. Every week, weight was tracked and analyzed. Researchers found that people who quickly lost weight in the beginning of the program struggled keeping the weight off. But those people who slowly lost weight and made sustainable changes to their lifestyle were able to keep the pounds off after a year. If you want to lose weight, keep a stable schedule for eating. Plan ahead and prep food for the week. Try not to eat out too much. That way you won't be tempted to make impulse decisions. And make time to exercise. Even small, consistent changes can make a big difference. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
All good tips. Up next, your local news headlines, and a construction worker makes an unusual discovery in Colorado.
We'll tell you about his incredible find after this.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Welcome back. 5:54 this morning. Here are some of the top stories on the Suncoast today.
The search is on for a new police chief in Punta Gorda. The city fired Tom Lewis yesterday for his so-called casual approach to safety in the wake of last year's fatal shooting of a citizen during a training seminar. The officer who pulled the trigger has yet to face charges.
Plus, an underground pipe that burst on Tuttle Avenue caused a sinkhole in the road. Repairs are underway in the stretch between University and Talavast.
And another chance to inspect the options to replace the Cortez Bridge. A state DOT meeting set for today, 5 p.m. at the Kirkwood Presbyterian Church on Anna Maria Island. Finally, construction workers in the Denver area have unearthed an amazing find, 66 million years in the making. A rare
Triceratops.
Triceratops, he tried to say. The skull and skeletal bones were discovered. Workers found them during a groundbreaking at the site of a new public safety building.
Wow.
Triceratops like this one are seen only in the Smithsonian. They were three-horned, plant-eating dinosaurs. Officials say once it's out of the ground and cleaned up, they hope to give it a new home at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science.
That does not surprise me that it was found in Denver. Not surprised at all.
66 million years in the making. But why doesn't that surprise you about Denver?
Well, Denver's got a lot of rich history as far as their mountains go and things of that nature. So
I wonder if when they dig out there, they have to have archaeologists along with them, just in case they stumble across
That's a good
bones.
question. That's a good
I
question.
know they do in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because of the tar pits and things.
Right.
Yep.
All right, 5:56. We've got a live guest in our studio next hour. Let's behave ourselves. Right. How about the Red Cross? Very important. Coming up next hour on Good Morning Suncoast.